Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, welcome back to my video. So, it's me, Naba, and I'm a student in English Education Department in Syarif Hidayatullah, Jakarta. And in this video, I will talk about something special. Yeah, that is some articles that I have read before. There are 10 articles.
Wow.
So without further ado, let's get into the video. And yeah, happy watching and enjoy. So all of the articles that I will talk about in this video is about teaching and learning grammar. And yeah, the first article that I have read before is the title is Analyzing Challenges in Grammatical Knowledge for EFL Students, Descriptive Quantitative Study. And this article by Asfi Ani Wurantu, Dinar Faiza, and also Yasinta Wulandari. And this is a research article and it is published in 2021. So, generally, this article talk about exploring students' voice on the use of literature in English grammar. And the student's perspective is regarded as an essential matter because grammar is full of formulas and sometimes too complicated, and especially for intermediate grammar class. And I personally agree with this article because I believe that students increase to understand of English grammar. And yeah, it is true in the result that this action research was successful in obtaining students for comprehension of English grammar based on the test and outcome. And yeah, in general, literary works can help students improve their command of English grammar, and students generally respond favorable to literature works as the suggestion media. For the second article is also similar, but it is the title of Mind Mapping, a Strategy to Enhance Students' English Grammatical Structure. And yeah, the author of this article is Furqan Ediwibowo, and I got this article from the journal and it is published in 2020. So generally this article explains to teach a technique that can be used in grammar activity is mind mapping. And yeah, which helps students retain the material structure, and also the researcher is highly interested in researching the use of mind mapping in grammar instruction because of this. And for the result is also similar with the previous one. It proves then that there are some advantages using mind mapping in teaching grammar, and that gave the students an overview of the concept of grammar material, and also it made the grammar easier to understand. And the researchers discovered after examining the data that mind mapping is a very promising method for teaching grammar. And in fact, using mind mapping encourages a student to actively provide the feedback so that it could be determined how well they comprehended the subject matter. The third article is also still similar to the previous one, but it's more like using play curricular activity reflection discussion or PCARD and digital game based or DGB through flipped learning on the EFL learners' grammar skills. And so the title of this article is The Effect of PCARD DGB flip learning on EFL learners' grammar skill. And yeah, this article by Hanif Shafi Rad, and I got this article from the Journal of SETEFL or TEFL, and it is published in 2021. So generally this article was a case that the PCARD DGB flip learning improves the grammar proficiency and disposition of EFL learners and to improve their achievement and attitudes, and also aim to discover the effect of PCARD DGB flip learning on EFL learners' achievements and perceptions in a grammar course to fill the gap in the literature. And for the results, show that the employment of PCARD, DGB flip learning to improve EFL learners' grammar skills significantly more than the standard flip learning group. So, and the fourth article is teaching and learning of grammar at the basic level of education, revisiting inductive teaching approach. For the author is Gifty Edna Anani, and I got this article from Education Journal, and it is published on February 22 2017. And yeah, for the result of this article is that those who were taken through inductive teaching show better skills than those who were taken through the deductive method. And for the other things, that when students are taken through activities like a picture description and storytelling, and then enough writing of exercises, role plays, and also videos, it will enable students acquire the grammatical knowledge they need to use in their day-to-day activities. So the fifth article is also similar with the previous one, but the title of this article is A Comparative Study on Beliefs of Grammar Teaching Between High School English Teachers and Students in China. This is the article by Fang Deng and Yuan Lin, and I got this article from English Language Teaching Journal, and it is published in 2016. So, generally this article describes that teachers' grammar teaching has the tendency of communicative teaching, while students' grammar beliefs have the characteristic of integration of communicative and traditional grammar teaching. And for teachers, grammar teaching behaviors can basically be consistent with their grammar teaching beliefs, and it is also to investigate the present status of grammar beliefs of high school students, as well as teachers' beliefs and their grammar teaching behaviors, analyze and compare the similarities and differences between them. And yeah, the title of the sixth article is The Analysis of English Language Education Students' Teaching Skills During Micro-Teaching, Product Process Approach in Teaching Grammar. And this article by Atalia Agustin, and I got this article from Jurnal Pendidikan dan Kebudayaan, and it is published in 2017. So generally this article talk about the essential part of becoming a teacher is to teach in a holistic approach. It means that the teacher himself or herself understands the nature and purpose of the material, and also the effective way of teaching it, as well as the nature of teacher, students, and how to manage them to be able to know the purpose of education. For the results of this article conclude that this research will be presented in a descriptive, narrative manner by describing and discussing students' skills in teaching grammar in a process product approach. And students and also teachers were able to conduct some basic teaching tasks like opening and the lesson and providing questions based on the subject matter. Alright, I will continue to the seventh article, and the title is Exploring Indonesian EFL Learners' Perspective of English Learning Grammar by Cahaya Kumara and Vidaniar Tiarsiwi. So I got this article from Journal of English Language Teaching, and it is published in 2021. So generally this article talk about plenty of researchers have studied English grammar for their own purpose, and then they mostly feel interested to discover grammar issues experienced by the learners, since English is recognized and categorized as a foreign language in Indonesia. And this situation creates a complexity, particularity, and understanding the concept of grammar and how to apply it comprehensively. And the next, for the results of this study show that Indonesian EFL learners truly view grammar as difficult but essential to learn and master. and learners had also stated that teachers, factors, and English school textbooks became the dominant obstacle in comprehending grammar. For less, learners were likely to choose variety models of learning, and then particularly technology in learning grammar. For this research is believed to enrich the knowledge and literature of grammar issues and status, as well as providing the factors and the solution to explore more in the future for the good for learners and teachers. The next article, which is the title of this 8th article, is the effect of using storytelling technique in teaching grammar for EFL classroom. And this is the article by Siti Fahraini, and I got this article from Getsem Panda English Education Journal, and it is published in 2016. So generally, this article explains about the effect of using storytelling technique in teaching grammar. So the teachers no longer use traditional methods for teaching grammar that make learners bored. Based on the explanation in this research, the writer want to apply storytelling technique in teaching English to the student of Pendidikan Guru Sekolah Dasar or PGSD at STKIP Bina Bangsa Getsem Pena. And yeah, for the results of this study show that the students who were taught using storytelling techniques achieve a better ability in mastering grammatical structure than the students who were taught grammar by using traditional methods. So it indicates that there is a significant differences in the experimental group compared to the control group. Thus, it can be concluded that storytelling technique is effective in increasing students' ability and mastering grammar. So the next article is about the title is Analyzing Challenges in Grammatical Knowledge for EFL Students, Descriptive Quantitative Study. This is by Nawira Nunung Anugrawati and also Muhammad Arif Muhsin. And yeah, this article from Jurnal Pendidikan Bahasa Inggris, and it is published in 2019. So generally, this article is talk about article teachers can know more about the factor or the challenge when students learn grammar. And the results shown that problems were mostly found by the students in their grammatical knowledge, where they don't know how to organize the sentences to be a good paragraph, and lack of self-confidence, lack of vocabularies, lack of tenses, and also the most significant challenges were learning environment was too crowded, limited of time, and lack of facilities. And yeah, for the last article is also similar with all of the articles, and the title is The Practices and Problems of Teaching English Grammar to the Young EFL Learners by Maima Razwana, MD Delaware Hussein, and also Saleh Ahmad. And I got this article from International Journal of Language and Literary Studies, and it is published in 2022. So generally, this article is talk about the effectiveness of methods that are used in grammar teaching. And this study is the practices and problems of teaching English grammar in our country, especially for the teaching approaches and techniques. And for the roles of teachers and learners, the perception of needs of English grammar, the learners' preferences about the learning strategies. Yeah, that's it. And for the results, that grammar is a matter of teaching, but this teaching has to follow the right way. And it can be said that the English teachers have to be trained perfectly, and they must follow the method of the teaching process in their class. Hey you guys! Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you can get full insights and also the new knowledge from this video, and see ya for the next video. Bye bye.